láyé olúgbọ́n mo ké borùn méje ẹ ò máa kọ̀ yí lórin láyé àrẹ̀sà mo ké borùn mẹ́fà ẹ ò máa kọ̀ yí lórin láyé ìsẹ̀yìn èmi ra kókò mo ra rán mo ra sányán bàbá sọ àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè pélé.
Good day, everyone listening to this new video of mine. We're about to discuss something very important. You're all welcome to the Yoruba Abrahamic discussions today. In this new video today, we shall be discussing about the identity of a popular man which we all know as Jesus. Let's start by asking ourselves, who is Jesus? The name Jesus has gone through many phases after hundreds of years and has been portrayed under different names till today. Just happened to be that Jesus is the last name which was given to this person. The name Jesus comes from the word Yeshua. It all comes from the word Yeshua. It started with the name Yeshua. And Yeshua itself originated from the pre-existing Yoruba name Eshu. People often only wonder how both correlate together, but I shall be telling you things you don't really hear outside today. The word Yeshua comes from three combinations of Yoruba word Ya and Eshu àti Àwa. It means Ya means iye, just like we say Ya Allah, iye Ella. Ya means iye. Eshu is an orisha. Ẹni tí oríṣà lẹ́ṣà, ẹni tí ẹlẹ́dàá dá yàtọ̀, a distinctive created human beings of respect, which is a prophet. Àwa means we. So if we put the names together, if we put the Yoruba names together, it means Iye or salvation of Eshu, our own salvation of Eshu, or Eshu, Iye titi Eshu titi Awa, Iye Eshu Awa. That is what it means. If we put it together, it's Yeshua. But if we are to separate it, the word Eshu is the word the Arabic really translated to Esu, because we have the Yorubas of the Oyos and the Yorubas of Lagos. Eshu, Esu, Isu, Ishu. So the Eshu in Yeshua comes from the Hebrew text. The Esu comes from the Arabic text. And that is why we have Esa. So at the end of the day, in other words, the word Eshu is the one which the European transformed to Yeshua. So if we are to talk about the genesis of Jesus, is never the doings of the Africans. It's a name which was created by the Europeans during the transatlantic slave trade and enforced upon the Africans to believe. It is a name which actually belongs to their pagan mythology gods in the Greek myth or the Roman myth, which come from an idol god called Zeus. So when we say Jesus, it's a combination of two English words, El Zeus. You will wonder why Jesus doesn't really sound like Jesus. It's because the earliest Bible, which came about 30 years ago, especially the King James version of 1900 and other alikes, there was nothing like Jesus in it. It was all about Esus, Ieosus. The Esus was what later became Jesus when newer versions of Bible start popping out years after years, because the Europeans kept perfecting what they uttered out of the Torah. The Torah is a written script from Africa and precisely in Yoruba history. But after the colonization, they took it to Europe, reversionalized it, modernized it, then reset it back to the Yorubas in the way that it will promote their own idol gods, not in the way that it used to be. So the word Jesus is just a replication of the pagan gods which the Romans have been worshipping earlier before. This is why the source is a common name among their gods, like Odysseus, Zeus, Janus, Aquarius, Passus, and so on and so forth. Then we now have Jesus. So it has nothing to do with the Yoruba. It has nothing to do with the Torah. It has nothing to do with the earlier Bible. It is a new name which the Europeans convey to make the Africans believe to be the actual. So is that name or that character is an impersonation of the actual real person which the Torah or the Quran speaks about. So that is the evolution of Jesus Christ. So if we are to talk about the word Christ itself, Christ as a whole in breakdown are the combination of all the Western religions which were created by the Europeans. Like cohest, C-O-E-I-S-T, cohest. The C stands for Christianity, the O stands for something else, the I stands for Islam, and so in combination it is. So when we say Jesus Christ, we are practically saying Hail Zeus, the God of all religion. I mean the religion which the European created into divisions. This is why the intellectuals, the intelligence one, summarizes it and randomly agree that religion is politics. It is not a way of African. We are spiritual, but we are never religionalized. This is why you will never find anywhere in the Quran or in the Bible or in any book where Jesus said, if you are to be my follower, you have to be a Christian, or I am a Christian, or where Muhammad or anybody in the Bible say I am a Muslim. These are names that came after that came after the Europeans have got hold of the Yoruba in-depth Yoruba ancient history books. So that is for that. Then let's go about what Jesus actually looked like. If we are to talk about what Jesus looked like, first of all, in Yoruba literature, indigenous history of the Yorubas, Eshu has always been a symbol of black, and there is a reason for it. In the traditional practices, Eshu is always symbolized with either black or red, especially when it comes to the attire or the rituals. And the reason is very simple. It is the actual image of Eshu the Yorubas reflected to honor him after he has left this world. If you go into like Revelation 1 verse 14, the description of Yeshua, not Jesus, was clearly spoken about there. It was clearly said Eshu was a pitch black human in his lifetime as a human being. He was very dark. It was very dark to an extent that they compare him with a furnace brace where they used to do bread, those coal. They compare like a charcoal. He was extremely dark. And this concept of blackness was taken from the Yoruba's ancient description of Eshu. This is why they symbolize it in Yoruba land as black. Eshu itself in his life was a very black man, a uniquely black person, which is not common. And in the Bible too, it's not a coincidence. In Isaiah, same thing was related to him. Same thing in Revelation. Yeshua was described as a black man. I'm not the one saying it. Go and read your Bible. If Jesus can be describing himself as a black man, and the Torah acceptably said the same thing, and the reality on ground in the Yoruba ancient book also symbolizes it as well. So I don't know the kind of Jesus posters you are putting in your house. All the Jesus posters you are putting in your house are Europeanly made impersonations, either God. In fact, the actual name of the person which you put on your wall, his name is Caesar Borgia, the son of this Pope John Paul IV in Rome. This guy was an LGBT individual personnel. He's a gay. His lover was a painter which painted him. and coupled with other pictures too that you see in movie theater, they have no real picture of Jesus because he was never an European, he was a black man. The ones you see are impersonators, alien impersonation. They doesn't fit in. They only take the African character Eshu, then replace the name with an European name. Now replace the name with an European figure just to whiten out all black histories. Africans, you have to wake up, think outside the box, think outside everything you've been taught all your entire life, or else you will always end up in the masses' opinion. The crowd following something doesn't actually mean that they are right. In this kind of world we have today, the majority are always wrong. The truth sayers are always the liars in the front of everyone. This is why you have to think outside the box. So going down to the next preferences, how is Eshu connected? How can we reference Yeshua to the Eshu? I will give you about 4 different things you don't actually think about, but it's real. Like in random verses in the Bible, they said Yeshua used to walk with disciples with barefoot leg without sandals. And this is why Yeshua always washes their feet with water. I don't want to know the actual reason that the actual circumstances that surround it. But do you know in Yoruba they usually call Eshu owo bata? Eshu who doesn't wear sandal. Yeshua don't wear sandal, which is why he washes feet. And these narrations was taken from the Yorubas too, because Satan doesn't wear sandal as well. Let's also look into another factor too. They said Yeshua used to sit down in wilderness alone, meditating, going in spiritual journey while sitting down. The word wilderness is what the Yorubas refer to as Orita Meta, the T junctions. Where it used to be silent is a no-go place for if you are not spiritually inclined. This is where he used to. So they are trying to say Yeshua used to sit alone, meditate, think of so many things. Mind you, the European will only be able to write what they can perceive, what they can be able to acknowledge as interpretation. It might not necessarily mean the exact, most especially today that the Bible has took so many transformative mediums. So that is that for that again. Let's go into another factor. They always say John the Baptist, there is a man called John the Baptist that baptized Jesus. In Islamic literature, the name for John the Baptist is called Yahya. So if we are to go deeper into the Yoruba narrative and understand who the Yahya is, the Yahya is a general name of any person, but a title to be precise. Like you calling someone a teacher. A teacher is just the title, but the person has his individual name, which nobody knows. So when we are when we try to link it with the Yoruba, Yahya is Yeye. What does John the Baptist do? He baptized people, take them to the running stream, put water on their hair, pray for them, and washes away most of their sins. That is what baptism is all about. So what does Yeye does in Yoruba? Yeye takes people to the running stream, baptize them, washes away their sins, and pray for them. Just like they used to do at Oshogbo Festival, or all these Yemaja, Oluweri people, these deep traditionalists. That is what they do. So if we now assemble all our facts, it's like saying when Eshu was alive, he visited the likes of the Yemaja group, the Yeye Oluodo, or a priest who baptizes. Then he baptized. So when the Bible actually indicates that Jesus was baptized by, it's like saying Eshu went to the stream to be went to go and meet a priest, a water priest, to be baptized. That is all what it means. So John the Baptism or Yahya is not their real name. It's just a title name to give the person who that person is in Yoruba land. Nobody knows. That is the reality for that. So again, let me now give you the final factor, because there are lots in my book. I'm just giving you a reference. And in my books, I give references, relative references, very clear references, but I don't have to be saying all that now. So, well, the last factor is, it was clearly said in the Bible that Jesus said, "Let me go and meet my Father." He was lifted high. And in the Quran even clearly further stated it that he was never crucified. He was taken higher. In Yoruba, Eshu never died. Eshu vanished. He vanished into the thin air, which means they lifted him. And the spot at where Eshu vanished, a huge stone formed and emerged out of that spot, which the Yoruba now uses as further symbols of the place where to honor Eshu. Ojubo Okuta Eshu. That is why they honor Eshu. They don't worship Eshu. They honor Eshu at the spot of stone, because it is a symbol of where Eshu vanished. Do you see the correlation? You can't expect a perfect correlation, most especially in the time whereby the Europeans are seriously walking towards you, not knowing where you originate from. Not only Yoruba, the Africans entirely. So that is for that. And if we are going to another thing, so let's now jump into who gave birth to Eshu. It is a common thing in Yoruba or in the Bible or in everywhere that the mother of Jesus was Mary. In the Quran, they said is Miriam, Isa and Miriam. So who is this person in Yoruba? Like I said earlier, the title is the names of the characters in the Bible and Torah are just title names that only reflect what happened in individuals' lifetime, not their real names. So who is Mary? Who is Miriam in Yoruba? In Yoruba, there is a name they give to someone who have a spiritual husband or spiritual wife. The name is Mary. As a matter of fact, Mary, the mother of Jesus or the mother of Yeshua, is called Mary in Yoruba. In Quran, is called Emiriomo, which is Merehama. Why would they name him Mary? Because she was a virgin, a confirmed virgin who got pregnant of a child without father, and it was later assumed that it is only a spiritual husband that could have done that. For some reasons, it is also further the reason why many Europeans now assume that the husband of Mary is God. Mary, those ones are miscalculated truth. These are false narrative, but they only they took the bull by the horn by actually indicating that she has a spiritual husband who impregnated her. Whether that one is true or that one is false, that is what Mary is in Yoruba. So Mary had a spiritual child, Mary conceived spiritually, so she had a child. So the Yoruba concluded that Mary, her spiritual husband, impregnated her. Why she remained undefiled, she remained virgin. So that is where the concept of Mary or Miriam comes from. So it is not the name, the very name, not the indigenous name or the given name of the actual name of the mother of Eshu. It's just a generalized name to signify the kind of parent Eshu mother was. So that is for that. So now we move on to how can we who is what Eshu is or Yeshua is to the people of the world or to the people of the earth. If we are going to go deep into that, let's start by what Jesus or Yeshua said about his own personal mission on earth in the same Torah which you carry. In Matthew 10, verse 5, Yeshua clearly gave an instruction telling his followers, ẹ̀yin ọmọlẹ́yìn Èṣù, telling his followers clearly that, look, I did not send you to go and preach my good tidings to the people of the Gentiles. Who are the Gentiles? In Yoruba, oníjẹ ẹni ẹ̀tàn ilẹ̀, oníjẹ ẹlẹ́tàn lórí ilẹ̀ alààyè. And it was more categorized as the Europeans in so many Bible, in Revelation, in Isaiah, in so many. So they were Europeans. Yeshua was telling them, I'm not sending you, or don't take my message. I have no business with the people of the European. Oníjẹ ẹlẹ́tàn lórí ilẹ̀, or the Samaritans. Àwọn Sàmọ̀rí onítàn, àwọn Sàmọ̀rí ìtàn onílẹ̀, or something similar to that. But it was Samari. Samari is a common Yoruba name for people who are not of you, but are not related to you. They are not of you, but they are neighboring tribes, which means non-Africans but non-Yorubas are the Samari. So Yeshua was instructing his followers that, do not take my message to the Europeans, and do not take my message to the Africans of non-Yorubas, but take my message only, go and read it, Matthew 10 verse 5, only to the misguided children of the Yisrael. Yisrael means Oya Sheriola. Oya Sheriola. That's why Yeshara Haila, the people of Jew, call it like that. Yisrael, some call it like that. Israel, some people call it like that. And it comes from Oya Sheriola, another name for the Yorubas entirely, because Yorubas is just a recent name given by the late Prophet Samuel Ajayi Kwara. Yoruba used to have many names, like Ewe. Ewe. This is Ewe is a name that was attributed to Elohim, which is God, like Yahweh, Iyewe, Oluewe, salvation of the Ewe. This is another name for Yoruba, salvation of the Yorubas, salvation of the Ewe. So Yoruba are sometimes called Ewe. That is another name. If you are familiar with a Yoruba musician called Adewale Ayuba, he sang a song, Wale yi ewe so, mbale yi ewe so, ododo kombe. Wale Ayuba, which is from Ijebu, even sang it for the Yorubas to understand it. You people are Ewe. So when you are being called Ewe and you have a name of Ya Ewe, Iye Ewe, Olu Oba Iye Ewe, Ọlọ́run àwọn Ewe, salvation of the Ewe, salvation of the Yoruba, that means you are talking about the same Yoruba under different names. So Yoruba used to either be called Ewe, some will call them Nago, or Anago. That one comes from the name of Ologo, Onogo, because N is also L in Yoruba. You can call nylon or nylon or nimota or limota, nǹkan ńlá, nǹkan ńlá. Yoruba people will be familiar with what I'm saying. So that one comes from Nago. That is another name for. Some are even called, sometimes even call Yorubas Anago. So we have different names, Yaba, different names to qualify the Yoruba. It was the late Samuel Ajayi Crowder that now generalized all these names, that okay, you people, I have to be calling, you people have to have one identifiable name, which is Yoruba, during the transatlantic slave trade. So Yeshua was actually telling his people, go to àwọn ọmọ Yasheriola, which are the Yorubas then. Go to them alone. Because why? Only the Yoruba understood the legacy of Eshu. Eshu is their forefather, is their ancestor, is an angel, is a human being, Orisha. So anyone who tells you that Eshu is evil, you should just look at him, then walk away. They are only playing the European script. Eshu has never been evil. And the reason why the Nollywood attributed him to evil deeds is because the Europeans have reprogrammed them to think like that. As a matter of fact, you can use the spirituality of Eshu for both good and evil. The same way you can use the Quran to fight evil people, especially when it comes to the Kurisiu, Muslim will understand, or Tabatiada. Likewise, you can use Psalm 21 in the Bible. Does that mean the Bible and the Quran are not good? No. It depends on how you use it. And that is the same condition which is applied to the spirituality of Eshu. Eshu is never evil. It does so many things in Yoruba land, which you shall be seeing in my book if you subscribe to it. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you all what I'm saying, especially when you read my book. A mind is a very powerful tool. When you read something, your mind will tell you if it is true instantly or if it is a lie, unless you have a deliberate mind to avoid truth. That is what God has done to us. So Eshu was never anything bad the way people portray it of him. He is an Orisha. He is an Erumole, and is very powerful, and he served the Yoruba lands throughout his entire life before he vanished into the air. So this, in my conclusion, the reason why this doesn't really mean, which people doesn't read meanings much into it, or people find it hard to relate with this nation, is simply because when we speak about the Yoruba, when we talk about the Yorubas, people oftenly look at the southwestern Yorubas alone as the actual people who are Yorubas. That is a false claim. The Yorubas are all over Africa and the entire world. The only difference is that the indigenous Yorubas in southwestern part of Nigeria are the real pure blood till today. They don't mix up their gene with anybody. They don't marry outsider. They make sure that the royalty remain within. That doesn't mean there are still Yorubas at Cotonou, which are called the Ajashe. There are Yorubas at Mende, Sierra Leone, which are called Yakoba instead of Yaroba. There are some which are even called Yarahoba in Senegal. There are some who are called Esouda, which are the Ijebus. The Ijebus are not indigenous to where they are in Southwest. They came all the way from the North Sudan before the Italian invasion and came to settle down for shelter at where they are in Southwest. But they are pure blood Yorubas. They are pure blood Yorubas. In fact, when you talk about the Quran, they are the real Muhammadan. Their tribe is Wadai. They are the real Muhammadan. This is why till today, the Queen Sheba kingdom is still at Ijebu Ode today. They are pure Yoruba descent, but they are migrants. They are the real Muhammadan. Forget everything you see in Saudi Arabia, all this thing. Those ones are Babylonians. They are Babylonians. If you check the political history, they are Babylonians. They are Iranians. They stayed there before they start migrating. They had civilization. From civilization collapse, the Greek civilization rises. After Greek civilization, there is extended to Rome. After Rome, then Europe. That was how they expand. So they are Babylonians. The real Quranic Arab are the Ijebu people. This is why the entire Quran is a Yoruba language. So the Yoruba we have today, where I'm going is that there are so many different Yorubas. So the kind of Yorubas we have today, people always try to shrink it to minimize, to think that only the Ile-Ife or the Southwest Yorubas are the real. No. Let me give you an instance. When we said Osheun, another Yoruba will say Ocheun, another Yoruba will say Oseun, another Yoruba Okun. We have so many Yorubas that come Epele that doesn't even really go in the same depth, but they are pure Yorubas of different types. The one you are familiar is the one you should hold on to. And as a matter of fact, the Southwest Yoruba are still the pure blood Yorubas. Only in southwest or south, or there are more than 20 different clans or ethnicity of the Yorubas. Ishekiri are Yoruba origin, if you don't know. Nupe are Yoruba. From there, even Shango Olukoso came out from the mother. Are Yoruba people. So many clans like that. Benin, TV, they are Yoruba, and their ancestral parent is from Yoruba. And Igbo are from the Bantus. The Bantus come from the Bantus. The mother of the Igbos is a Yoruba, the last son of King David, Odudua, which that one is another story entirely, but their father is from somewhere else. So they are mixed Yorubas, which is why Yoruba have Shango, they have Amadioha. We have similarities, but they are not real Israelites. They are not real Yorubas, but they have so many similarities. So many Yorubas have. The only main pure blood one are the Benis, the Benis, the Tapa, the Ishekiris, the Tigbis. Those are the sons of Yakub, Yaroba. Another story for another day. So what I'm saying is that this is why we have different kind of Yorubas. But when you listen to them, and you have a light in your heart, you will understand the kind of Yoruba they are saying. Like the rivers, they call a man. There is a man called Agbochenu. Agbochenu. People who are into the grants will be familiar with the name. The word Agbochenu is not different from Agbondenu, Eniti Ogbondenu. Let me go into the Quran. As the Quran is, who is Allah? We have Allah. We have Allah. Can you see Allah? The He is A in some Yoruba. We have Allah, like we have Allah Urobi, Ella Owurobi. The same Ella, Allah Akbar, Ella Akoba, Ella Akokoba, Ella Akokobari, Ella Kobari. These are Yorubas in different dimensions. Don't be fooled by everything you see today. What you actually think is not. We are living in the matrix where we have been programmed to think in a certain way and to follow certain direction. Yes, says follow the masses. Don't question it. If you question it, you are to be killed. They will call you an Aram. They will call you abomination. Please look for the truth. At the end of the day, Eshu is not an European figure. It was an imposter. The old version is a black written books. The newer version is a white European written books from Paul. They merge it together. So they try to manipulate some certain truth. This is why we advise you guys to go and get a Torah book. And if you can't get the Torah book, I will also implore you to buy my books. I put out some references in it, whereby you won't need anybody to tell you. Just sit down in your room, read it. Nobody will tell you. Your mind will beat for the truth. You will see it yourself. You will ask yourself questions. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, the light will shine upon us. Yoruba, you don't know what you have. And this will be the end of my video on this in regard to Eshu. I have so many topics I shall be treating. But for Eshu, I think this is where we come to the end. If you have any question, or you have a contradicting or a conflicting opinion, please make your statement known on the section below. I will try my possible best to answer your questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Be ready to challenge me. No one is above correction. But let me know whichever way it comes. And let me subscribe. Let me put a thumbs up, like, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, everybody.